How can we lead or guide others when we haven't first learned to lead our own minds? You see, we live in an age where information travels faster than reflection, where opinions echo louder than truth, and where emotional reactivity has quietly replaced emotional intelligence. Let's think about your own social media feed for a minute. When you're going through the comment section, do you think that a lot of people are taking the time to stop and think about the insights and different perspectives and then respond? Or do you think most of those comments are filled with reactions? A lot of them are even shouting in their own way, actually. Now think about yourself. Do you pause before commenting? Do you take the time to actually think over the topic that is being discussed and mull over it so that when you respond, it is layered, it is profound, and it is thought-provoking? Daniel Levitin, who's a neuroscientist, he stated a very interesting fact. He stated that today we are processing 5 times more information daily than people did back in 1986. Now that is equivalent to reading 175 newspapers from front to back every single day. Now this is precisely the reason why we live in an age of information overload. And because of this kind of overload that we are going through daily, that is leading to cognitive fatigue. Now you see, our brains were not designed to handle so much of information, that too daily, and doing so much of multitasking. Our brain was designed to do one thing at a time. Just think about your own day for a minute. You are constantly bombarded with notifications, messages, breaking news, opinions, ads, and updates every waking minute of your daily life. And you see, your mind was never built to take in that level of information, that level of input. So what does the brain do as self-preservation when it is so overwhelmed every single day? It begins to look for shortcuts. And that is precisely the reason why we start relying on cognitive biases and groupthink, because that is the only way that the brain begins to navigate such form of complexity that we are living in every single day. So instead of evaluating ideas critically, which is what our brain was designed to do, it starts looking for cues from others. And that is why we start looking towards our peers, influencers, or perceived authorities. And this is called social proof, which is actually a natural survival mechanism. But here is where we need to pay attention. While we're doing that, we forget to realize that this social proof is actually being exploited and manipulated. But critical thinking, true conscious thinking, is when you learn to pause before responding. When you learn to ask the right questions before believing anything. And by anything, I truly mean anything. And critical thinking is the courage to think, to pause and to think while everyone else is busy reacting, repeating, and regurgitating. Hi, I'm Ayusha, Emotional Mastery Mentor. I help professionals, students, and anyone eager to grow master the one skill that's often missing in today's fast-paced world, and that is emotional intelligence. Over the years, I've had the privilege of bringing Soft Skills AHA's personal and professional programs to professionals and students across the globe. As an international director at Soft Skills AHA, which is a global edtech company, I lead a worldwide movement for conscious and heart-centered leadership in an age where AI is rapidly changing the way we work and connect. I'm also a digital educator, passionate about making emotional intelligence understandable and accessible to anyone who's willing to learn. If you are a professional and you're looking to do a deep dive into professional development in the context of emotional intelligence, you can have a look at my course titled Emotional Intelligence for Leaders and Professionals, which is available on Udemy. I'll make sure to keep the link down below. And for those of you who want to explore emotional intelligence in smaller and actionable steps, I'm creating this 25-part series just for you. Together, we will uncover the art of thinking deeply and feeling wisely. So in this 25-part series, it will be made in such a way that it will be bite-sized for you, that is intentionally designed so you will be able to take in all the topics and subtopics that I will be covering. For this one, it is in the context of critical thinking and emotional intelligence. My purpose simply is to help you awaken from within. And I have walked this path myself, so I know. This process, I want to also let you know, that is not going to be easy. It will be heavy. The topics and subtopics will be thought-provoking and provocative at the same time. It will force you to think, and not just think, but think critically. But when you go past this journey, rest assured, you will feel transformed and transcended, because you'll be stronger, you'll be clearer, and you will feel grounded. I also want to assure you that once you finish this 25-part series, you will no longer allow yourself to be used, manipulated, or easily swayed. Instead, you will learn to take your power back so that you can live a conscious and an authentic life. Now, in this 25-part series, we will be covering interesting yet important topics like why speed makes us careless. Now, yes, we live in an age which is all about instant, right? So instant gratification, instant messages, instant connection, etc. But though that is a buzzword, there are already philosophers who are beginning to warn us about something called the collective stupidity. We'll also be looking at topics like why certainty feels safe but kills curiosity. Now, this is already beginning to affect us adults, but the scarier part is that this pattern is also being seen in our children as well. It is already beginning to shape how they think. We'll also explore topics like why fear, outrage, and biases hijack our intelligence. And that's precisely what is creating a fertile ground for manipulators and perceived authorities. We'll also see why practicing emotional awareness and critical thinking will help us actually break free from these limiting patterns. So get ready to dive deep into this 25-part series. Together, we will be crossing several bridges here. First one is from ignorance to awareness. Another one is from being comfortably numb to being consciously alive. And the other one is from passively accepting to thinking critically and feeling empowered. I'm truly grateful that you've made it here to the space where awareness begins. Stay close and follow the upcoming episodes in this 25-part series, because each one will be designed to take you a little deeper into yourself, into truth, and into awareness. Let's become critical thinkers again, one reflection at a time.